Here we go. Chasm. Angeal. Fnoo. Joe 987, mrbrush, fistnow. And of course, one of the leading lights of Airmech. The man whose play lives up to his name. Let's get mid. It's a very intellectual and novel approach to Airmech maps. Usually don't see guys making an initial push for mid. But this time, it looks like we're going to see it from green in the form of a creeper rush. Orange with some fortified moneymakers. Don't worry, Liar is not involved with this game, so I don't think you have to worry about the moneymakers quite so much. Both sides taking a bit more of a conventional approach rather than going for cheese. Oh, it's Morty's. Dropping bombs on these T-99s. Quickly cleared out. Green with the initial grab. Not wasting any time getting their dudes on the other side. And look at it. 3-on-1 Longhorn action. Brush hits the scene, and surprisingly, the single Longhorn prevails. Green getting some infantry dudes over here. And they're not wasting any time pushing right up on this power station, trying to snag this off of them as well. They're not falling into the usual trap of massing shit up here and then allowing Orange, oh yeah, to get a bunch of artillery and pound on them. Orange's main already under scrutiny, albeit with jackals. It's a good thing that they did fortify those moneymakers, too. Oh, but look at this. Rebels. Pressure the top in 15. Pressure top. Pressure got the top on you. Oh, God. Any reggae fans will certainly get that joke, but not laugh at it. So if this is the pressure that Intellect had in mind, and I don't think it is, because now Orange scrutinizing that center with Archie, the Archie aggressors, yes? Come on, it's the pro's choice. Archie aggressor, of course. Morty's dumping on that power station. Joe 987 on the scene, and between him and the jackals, it's a non-starter. Oh, that brute. Pounding on a tank, but tank pounds back. Oh, yeah. Recon sweep from Joe. More massings from Orange. Green trying to push up that ledge. Intellect does make it back. Brush gets a stasis blast in on Angeal mid-transform. I wonder if they're going to fix that up. I wonder if they're ever going to fix that up. Angeal fixes up Mr. Brush pretty nicely. Intellect barely making it back to that outpost. Wait, I'm trying to... There we go. Intellect going for some backdoor steals. Joe 987 going for a brute drop. Nice little bit of harassment right here. And of course, the Neo is a real pain in the ass when it decides it's going to harass. Its harass is a pain in the ass because it's got such ground speed. Particularly with Raven. She has a boost to that, yes? Yeah, 10%. It's her primary boost. She's hauling ass on the ground. You're not shooting her for shit. Angeal squaring off against a Flacker and a Longhorn. Both retreat back to base, or the nearest outpost, rather. Intellect dropping a brute, or maybe just stole one that was there. In any case, leaving Joe to deal with it as we get in a quarter two. Now, this is some nice stuff from green right here. Usually I don't see the, whatever team has the right-hand side of this map popping dudes up like this. Uh-oh. Boomers. And that is going to drop one of those flackers. But as you can see, it's forcing Orange to split their resources. Even though the way things are going is drawing some profanity from Mr. Brush. Sonya, in effect, I don't know how much good it's doing. Intellect ordering a push on the bottom. Sometimes you just got to push that bottom. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, tries to steal those brutes. Not happening. And now the whole click. Well, okay, not the whole click. Brush maintaining pressure on that. While down here, Intellect trying to get it going. Not really able to. Mr. Brush with a little introspection. And here we kind of find ourselves in the situation that I think Green was trying to avoid early on, which is an already spam fest between the two sides. And it's a whole big bag of not good for the whatever crew finds itself down here. Rush. EMP'd. Trying to escape the wrath of Joe 987. Intellect joins the fray. Not good enough. Flacker takes him down. Intellect bounces. He is putting an awful lot of faith into these brute drops. To be fair, I don't have enough time in with the brute to really know how it rolls in certain situations. But it does seem to have gotten a pretty good chunk of damage in on the contingent that Orange had over here. And this one remaining, okay, it didn't manage to take these down, but had it survived, and if this one survives, we might see that. Fistnow scoops them up, heals them up. Brute goes down. And, yeah, just to clarify, there's two big mass-ups of units pounding off shots at each other. Whose loadout am I looking at? Intellect? Now, this is a nice play. That is not what you want to see when you've got a bank of artillery. That's why, I mean, I personally like spacing them out a little more than that because there's so many different types of strike that either boomers, bombs, really fucking anything can screw up a big cluster in a big hurry if you're not careful. It looks like Intellect's still going with those brutes and bombers, and it's working to a point at least. What's this? Okay, creeps. Green with the right idea here. A couple of stray Archies just kind of chilling. Bertha's in the mix as well. And, okay. I thought Orange might have them, but they don't. Is anybody on Orange packing Bertha's? I'm not seeing it. Halftime. I don't think that either side really took any damage in the first half. So I imagine you'll see the full 20 grand Going to all 6 of these dudes. Brush with a surplus. And Joe on the orange team with a bit of one as well. Other than that, nobody's really rolling too extravagantly in terms of money. Brush clearing them out down the bottom. What the hell came on my fucking playlist? Sometimes weird shit just pops up on my playlist, and there's nothing I can do about it. Uh-oh. Is there anything that can be done about this? Rebel Patrol? I would have liked to see this get cleared out before this was unleashed. As it is, Joe goes down. Fish tries to assist. And somehow those things go right through that tank. And the bad news for Green is that they have very little in the way of D on this factory, which could be prone to attack. Oh, look at this. Brutes on the south side. Intellect tries to steal them, but they do have shooting shit in the air abilities. Oh. One moneymaker down. Brush EMPs it. Oh, and meanwhile, Green's southern power station neutralized. See if Orange gets to capitalize on it. Angeal going to work. And with the repair guardians. That's how I like to roll. With my Gothic Striker. What's this? Clever. So while Fist gets that going, it looks like Intellect is going to try and beef up the D around here. Oh, he sees it. There's no sliding it past this guy. They call him Intellect for a reason. And it's going to be bad news if nobody's able to counter what he's trying to do here. Oh. Fist was able to scoop one up, but I guess not before Intellect got the steal on it. And this whole backdoor attempt backfires. As Intellect's probably going to get this one too, and maybe all 3. We don't know. Okay. I guess Intellect decides that killing those remaining tanks is good enough for him. And Fistnow's plot is foiled. Meanwhile, Bertha action from the right is really taking a chunk out of this. If Orange is not able to fix that up, it's going to be bad news. Green moving in with tanks, but Orange does have that golly chilling. And at the moment, it's pretty much a standoff with Green trying to inch forward and not doing a bad job on this front. Tanks with some ratchet support. It's a recipe for trouble. Only made worse by this drop from Intellect. Angeal does get in front. I don't think he was able to get in front of both of those. And those brutes, while they don't do a ton of damage, they do pull Orange's guys off the front line. And this situation is not getting any better for them. Fist is stuck having to do direct maintenance on this Goliath. Smoke's still coming off of it. Did he pick it up or did it die? Did it die? I know, I'm supposed to be calling the action. I believe that it's dead. Well, it's no longer a threat. Let's put it that way. Orange's guys all masked up on the left. And that is going to be troublesome for trying to weather artillery shots. That Sonya not really doing shit to stop it. God, look at that. 5 Arties, or Berthas, rather. One down here as well, which doesn't seem to be going off. Intellect still trying to make steals. Joe not having any of it. It looks as though Orange is holding them back, but on the other hand, they're not exactly making a whole lot of progress in eliminating this whole pocket of nastiness, which is what they want to do. Meanwhile, on the south side, Fist tries to get cute with some Sams. Brush almost does get him. And if it's me, I'm taking a moment to drop a little more D up in here. Actually, the D's okay. They're protected from infantry drops and shit like that. Anything larger is going to pose kind of an issue. With those brutes, actually, I retract that. I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have spoken so ill of your defense. The defenses are good. Now this, on the other hand, I'm going to say that what Orange could do is pull the trigger on these fucking Goliaths, run them right down here, and what's going to stop them? A couple of Longhorns and, yeah, nothing else. They might want to do it before those things get too banged up from Artie fire. Or Bertha fire, rather. Meanwhile, Brush putting in some work down here. Look at this, hiding back in these barracks, taking out some creeps. And yeah, the thing is, it looks like Orange is trying to out-artillery Green. And it's not going to happen when they're packing Berthas. I don't give a shit how aggressive those Archies are. This, in my opinion, is the time for a direct approach. Meanwhile, Brush on the west side, finding himself pinned down by Joe 987. And back at Green's base. Ooh, that corner getting chunked on by Fistnow and a Goliath. You see that damage rolling off. Intellect pops a boner over the prospect of stealing that Goliath. And that is the shitty thing about facing saucers, is that when you do a drop like that, hey, mine. When you do a drop like that, you're always kind of caught between picking the thing up and being destroyed with it, or letting the other guy steal it. It's a pretty lousy choice to have to make. Looks like it's getting pretty from bad to worse for Orange. Not only have they been pushed out of this scene, but now this is grayed out. That is troublesome. And Green, meanwhile, I mean, just inching forward. It is ultimately working for him. Orange gets that back, but I don't know. For how long? Angeal does wall him off. One of those creeps goes immediately in. As does another one. Ooh. And once again, Green experiencing the pains that can come from massing up your Berthas a little too closely when the other team has boomers and is known to use them. I like this thing right here. This directly vertical Bertha. Rest in peace, vertical Bertha. Verta. Vertha. Whatever. Orange finally taking some of my advice. Pushing those gollies in. And yeah, as mentioned before, I mean, they got brutes, they got longhorns. And okay, this is where we differ. If it's me, I'm just ordering them all in at once instead of dropping them one by one, because they get picked off by this kick circle of brutes and longhorns. As it is now, it's taken the efforts of all three dudes to push this contingent back just by a couple of feet at a time. Here we go. This is a play that I'll always love. Stealing the lunchbox. Yeah. Brush stealths in. Hits the AMP strike. Intellect. Pretty proud of himself. As well he ought be. And even though that shield does stay up, it won't regenerate when it's dropped. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Orange needs to be... They've just got to be more proactive. Oh, that Seeker being completely neutralized by these Agi. But yeah, aside from these Longhorns up front, these tanks ain't doing shit except getting rained on. And folks, that's just not how you win these games. Now, this is how you win these games. Oh, brush. Dropped by the minigun. Sheer. Angeal goes down. And just a couple of minutes out from double overtime, it looks like Green's been kind of thwarted in their earlier effort to ooze up here and eventually steal this. They do gray it out, however. And Orange is really going to want to handle that before double OT kicks in. Please tell me they didn't disable bleed off. I already called one game that was like 2 hours. Okay, it was 40 minutes. It was more than 40 minutes, but a funky glitch happened, and it wound up just being 40. Ooh, those brutes living up to their name. Did that thing take 2 golly shots? Shit. Those things are still alive, too. One of them remains. Okay, there it goes. Down the south side, Intellect getting a little too greedy. And does go down. Not only do they no longer have an army there, they have nothing. Barring one soul brute. Yeah, it's really taken everything that Orange has just to hang on to this. Can you free a trapped infantry that way? I don't know. I guess we won't find out this time. Oh, what's this? Fist going in. And unfortunately, Joe 987 already down there, so he'll probably draw a response that'll come earlier than it would have otherwise. But maybe not, as they both go right in on this corner. Fist microing that thing around. Joe goes down. Intellect trying for the steal. Unable to do it before it gets destroyed. And shit. For the green team, the damage has been done. They do have about a 2.5 to 1 troop, more than a 2.5 to 1 troop advantage over orange. But I don't know if that's going to be good enough. Also, you kind of want those pointed the other way. I think. Maybe there was a rush coming down there that they had to point him that way for. Or he can't aim Berthas, and it's a bug. Ooh. Fist, sadly, gets picked up by Intellect, trying to go for another golly drop. And it goes from bad to worse, as Intellect does get the steal. Joe, rolling in with a single brute. Trying to pick the right spot for it, and decides to turn and burn. Someone is yeah, this is a weird fucking scene right here with these Berthas. Joe and this brute going after the Southern Power Station. The thing is, before Joe and Fist got that drop in, green had the advantage, as the bleed-off was going to eventually kill orange first. Now it's on green to make something happen. Otherwise, despite having that one extra outpost, it's not going to be enough. Orange finally decides to push forward, and look at the results. Was I lying? Green now in rough shape. This is pretty open for business, but are they going to be able to capitalize on it? Green getting corner shots in on that fucking main with a Goliath. Brush probably not picking the best time to go after their economy. The advantage that green does have is that, yeah, it's unlikely that orange is going to get too much direct base damage in on them. And orange with defenses that aren't that great. And as you see here, those two Geminis able to get a few shots in at least. Fist now. Unable to get a whole bunch of damage, or really any at all, in with that drop. Fnoo running horns down. Okay. Oh, I see what he did. Very nice. Oh, shit. Right down to the wire. Is green going to be able to pull this one out? Uh-oh. Is Angeal going to be able to put the kill shot on green's main? The horn goes down. He is forced to retreat. Fnoo dropping him in on that corner. Oh, and it looks like green takes it down. Yep, they told me that was an interesting game, and it turned out to be one. The scoreboard tells the tale.